Welcome back. We have Shelby Volo joining us on the show from Abbott Wealth Management. Welcome back to the show. Yes, today we're talking about your first time home buying experience, and Shelby's going to talk to us a little bit about how her experience was. How long ago did you buy your house?
I first bought my house at 21.
That's impressive.
So, yeah, it was also very tight. So I thought I'd be a good example saying my first purchase, because I learned a lot of helpful things.
On how to be as financially prudent as possible?
Yes, and how to be very cheap.
Okay, and you have to be. With that first house, it's a big deal. You have to be on the ball.
Yeah, and the reason I kind of thought this applied is because the 2016 census found that we're at record-breaking lows for younger generations coming into the home buying population. So 50.2% of 30-year-olds right now own their own home. So not that much, and compared to the baby boomer generation, it is significantly down compared to when they were in the same age group for buying.
Interesting.
And since they introduced those new interest rate stress tests for people coming into the market, it made millennials lose 16.5% of their purchasing power.
Wow.
So kind of a bummer. And 94% of millennials that don't own right now really do have the ambition to do it, but they don't have the funds to do that right now.
Right, so housing prices have inflated big time.
Yes.
The stress tests are harder to get through.
Yeah.
So this is all having an impact.
Bigger mortgages. So
sure.
I thought this would be a good topic too, because millennials are obviously the up and coming generation to buy houses. So my first tip, which you're probably familiar with, is equal payment plans. Is your hydro and gas and city utilities
huge,
but they're all on equal payments, right? Because a lot of people don't know, but if you do your gas bill, for instance, it could be $13 in July, and then in December it's $350 if it's minus 30.
And you're having a heart attack.
Yes, right? So if you can even the blow, it's a lot nicer.
Yes.
And I learned that the hard way the first time.
When you saw your first heating bill come in from winter.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my gosh, I know why my dad kept it at 68 at all times. And we all froze and wore sweaters.
That's right.
So it made sense. And then were you going to say something?
Well, I thought we'd show your house. We have a picture.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry.
This is where Shelby lives.
That was the first one.
And notice that there's no address, because you're thinking ahead.
Yes.
Nobody's putting their address on TV.
No one knows.
Are you not at this location anymore? You've already moved on?
I moved on.
Well,
so
good for you. So this is your first.
First one.
Okay.
And also, I learned the importance of an emergency slush fund. I would like to meet someone who's a millennial that planned for that, because I didn't. And I had a dishwasher go, a sink that needed repairing, a plumber that needed to come in. What else? I had a levy. I was in a strata at that place. It was a townhouse. So I had an unexpected, really large levy put on my unit as well.
What is a levy? What is a levy put
It's
on your
when
unit?
a strata experiences a situation where the contingency fund's not high enough. So then the bill is split amongst all the homeowners.
Whoa.
So another thing, when you're buying into a strata, apartment, townhouse, whatever, you can be faced with that. So it's another thing to budget for.
Yes.
And a lot of people I know that are my age have experienced levies now.
Is that right?
So, yeah, but they do let you pay them over 3 years sometimes.
Yes.
So you kind of have that benefit at times. Cut out what you don't need. This was sad for me. I had to get rid of cable, and I had to replace it with Netflix. And that can be really boring.
We're sad here at CFJC to think that you're not watching us.
I know.
I'd
have to YouTube it at work.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could do that too.
You can do that. You can go to our website. You can go to our website.
Absolutely. I also meal prepped, so I ate the same soup for about a year. I'm not proud of it, but meal prepping saves you a lot of money.
It does. Buying in bulk, having, sort of knowing what your budget is and sticking to it with the food. Absolutely.
Tons of money, because like your budget, you don't have a lot to budget with.
No,
so it's
that's
smart.
Right.
And then also, I learned why, I'm sure everyone can remember this when they lived at home. If you had longer than a 5-minute shower, your parent would come knock on the door and tell you to wrap it up. I learned why.
Yes.
Hydro's expensive.
Hydro can be up there.
Yeah, I also learned why my parents were stingy with AC. So all these fun things where you're like, oh, why do you guys get so mad? And then you experience it and you're like, okay, it costs money.
Now I know. This is called the circle of life, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
And all the insurance. Mortgage insurance, it's so important to have, even if you're single. So I was single when I bought my first home, and I had at least $100,000 of life insurance, because I knew my parents were gonna have to pay my utilities, my strata, my mortgage, until they could sell it to someone else, right?
Yes.
So that's important. CI, if you get sick, how are you going to pay your mortgage?
Yes.
I knew I wouldn't be able to do it by myself, or I didn't want to rely on my parents. So I got critical illness insurance to make sure it was covered.
Smart.
I upped my disability at work, so you can get a level amount that you don't have to prove insurability for.
Yes.
And then you can prove insurability for more than that.
Good.
So I did that to make sure that if I did become disabled, I could still pay my mortgage payment.
Sure. Good.
And then what else? I learned that there's contents insurance and property insurance. So if you own a townhouse, you only need contents. If you own a real house, you need property insurance. Another thing to budget for. So sometimes we don't think about that.
That's right.
And RSPs, it's better to save something than nothing. I started out saving $25 a month. Seems like peanuts, but it was a good start.
Yes.
So that's important.
Good for you.
And I learned that YouTube is your best friend. So
For fixing stuff?
yes, before you call a plumber or an expert, YouTube it. I fixed my own dryer and washer a couple times.
Did you really?
I did. I got pretty good at that. So those are my tips, and hopefully they can save some millennials some monies when they buy their first house.
You know what? That is so awesome. This is definitely information people can use. So many hidden costs when you're buying your first property. You really have to be prepared. And I think of all the things that you talked about, the most important in my mind is that slush fund.
Yes.
The emergency slush fund, because you just don't know what's coming.
And
right?
you will use it.
Oh, yes.
I
sadly.
guarantee you.
Yes. If you save a little bit of it, good for you, but it's good to have it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
Awesome. Shelby, thank you today for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Information on the screen. If you would like to get a hold of Abbott Wealth, you can certainly do so through their phone number, 372-3736, or online. We're back after a quick break. Stay with us.